Energy critical.
Help me!
I'm gonna start with a little bit of an after commentary first. Cause what was going on during my assault was mostly loading screens, so that's not the best kino. The idea was simple. I'm gonna bring this NASA rover looking ass tank over here and just shoot them down with my 2 Gatlings. That didn't work out. So there's this base right where the signal is, and in front of that, from where I am, is another turret emplacement. And I had 2 turrets on my tank, so I thought it's gonna be easy to take it out. I've got more guns, so I'm gonna win. Also, I took down the previous turret on the hill, on the hillside, so it seemed plausible that I would win. And it just kept taking down my guns. I don't know why. There was 2 of me in terms of guns, and 1 of it in terms of guns, and I couldn't take it. It was just able to pick my guns off, and I wasn't able to damage it at all. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's the technology behind this. I don't know why players always have shitty guns and why bots have such good guns. So there's that. But fortunately, after a little bit of change and improvement to my NASA rover, I put on more guns, I put on a decoy in front, and I protected it with heavy armor. And I also changed the approach. So I swerved around a little bit and managed to take that turret down. There's also anti-personnel turret in that emplacement, so it was down too. So then I moved over, trying to take out another auxiliary facility or anything like that. Fortunately, auto guns are just perfect and always hit whatever you want, like you can see now, where they're just shooting air. Fuck if I know why. Ask Keen. This is good programming. This is smart. Later on you'll see how these turrets are gonna just turn around, face back, and shoot nothing. Because fucking scripts are, I guess, sneaking up on me. Here we can see how my great investment that I put in time and effort into and brought it over from the moon to the planet is perfect and accurate in shooting down that one gun. It's shooting me, but I can't shoot it down. I've got a bigger gun, because up there is a anti-personnel turret. That was what was shooting me. And I couldn't get it. I've got 4 of those, and they barely got it. And then I had to face other turrets. So there's still 1 Gatling turret and a missile turret. And you're gonna be able to see a very rare event where the turrets are actually able to shoot down the fucking missile. Problem is, it took 4 of them to take it down. If you have your turrets targeting missiles and they've got idle movement, they're never gonna hit. They always waste time turning around and then aiming at it and then shooting, and it will either miss, the missile will miss you, or it will hit you and you won't be able to do anything about it, cause accuracy somehow is balance. And that's good combat. I tried to plug in wind turbine on the back of the tank and the tank to have some power, but it didn't work. I didn't have enough parts, first off, and I wanted to get this done, and second off, it's still a moving grid, so it's not a station, so it's not gonna work at all anyway. Here I'm trying a little bit of tactics of getting closer, getting as much shots in and then leaving before they can fix their volley onto me. But yeah, it was waste of time, it was waste of effort, it was wasted bad investment. But you brought it over, I brought it over, and you want to see it succeed, so you just pile on shit and solutions onto it. It's like bad business. It's very important to understand where you should just quit. And I didn't want to quit, because I built it, and I built it up for the next episode. So I had to make it work at least to some extent. Also, in the meantime, in between cuts, I'm walking over. I walked over to the facility over at the first Gatling turret and grounded down and disabled systems so that the Gatlings are not aiming at batteries, at wind turbines unnecessarily, or shit like that. And I also wanted to hack them and make them shoot the base, but I didn't have enough parts, so I I abandoned that idea. And here's this. Also, this facility where I took down the turret that I couldn't take down. Once I've got over that, I went there with a grinder and started changing things to be on my side, cause again it would have just been, it would be being shot on continuously by my auto turrets, because they target any system that's closest. You can't set up any what would you call it, what's the word, priorities, like aim at the guns, aim at the engines, search for power sources and aim at those. No, it just targets whatever. So at this point I was pretty angry, and the biggest target, or the goal at this assault, turned from just destroying the battery inside to just getting rid of the missile turret at the top. And I managed to do that actually. I guess I caught it when it was reloading or something. And my 4 turrets were able to take them down. Also again, you'll see 2 or 1 or even 1, I couldn't tell. It's too far away and it's too small. 1 or 2 turrets were able to just pick off my turrets. No problem. They just destroyed all of them. And I had no guns left, so it was time. Fortunately I destroyed that missile turret, so it made sense to just get out your rifle and start wreaking havoc in person. So let's get back to the gameplay, because that assault was terrible, that tank was terrible, that combat system is terrible, and... Back in the game! Alright, so you've noticed, you've witnessed, and you've had it discussed. We're here. Now, you could say I cheated a little bit, because I did try to just force it, because, you know, disinvestment and shit. So I pretty much did what you could do on a separate save, which is to say I just dug a hole underneath and scoured the place a bit, so I know what's inside and how the deal goes. The deal is that you have to disable a battery inside a complex. That will shut off the power to the facility, and that will be a win. So let's see how does that go. We gotta dig ourselves a hole out in the meantime, because we're starting from the ground level. There it is. That's stairs. Do I have iron placement? Yeah, I do. I just ground things down. Righto, there's the battery underneath there. The trick is though, actually, they've got a welder here. Clever little bastards. So if you want to just grind it, it will weld it up and probably can hurt you too, because welders and grinders and drills too, I think, still hurt the user or a player. And it's also secured with heavy armor blocks. So there's also that. Gonna put those things away, because maybe I'll actually decide to go back and collect some of this. What's this? Right, it's still the other. Oh shit. It always turns my jetpack on when I don't want to here in my fucking little combat box. I don't know why. It shouldn't be. I can still move around here naturally without flight. So I don't know why is it being done. So right, either it's gonna be that. I'm gonna grind the battery down and that'll be it. Or the wind turbines are still going to provide power to this, and I'm going to have to destroy those two. Well, let's try. It's gonna go slow because batteries have computers. Everything... And there it is. And there's still power, so there are still turbines. So problem with this is that anything that has computers now can be hacked, and hacking is just implementing computers on your own, because when you put in computers, the block is given ownership, and it's given ownership only when you put in computers, right? Great, amazing. So out of that circular reasoning, the idea is that you put them in by just just placing it, by just building the block. And if you're just building the blocks, it'll be easy or fast, and we don't want that, right? So the idea with hacking in a game is that you just get to the computers and then build them yourself. Build them up yourself at least, right? So if you were just to grind it down, it would have been easy. So that's the what would you call it? System against hacking. It takes a while when you're hacking, aka just grinding down structures that belong to someone else, which in turn makes it so that you have to work on it harder. You can't just get the systems easy. But the problem is when you're trying to just get around, right? It's easier to just grind the walls down rather than the door, for instance, which is kind of shitty. It's a wall. It should be harder to get the wall than to hack the door, I'd say. Right, let's get the power. The power. Let's see what's connected to what. This isn't really connected to anything, so if I just grind this down, that will disable this. There should be... there it is. It was the only thing, but unfortunately, that's not the end of the tutorial. Now you have to build a ship and go to space. How long can you play a tutorial for? Why is this a problem? Why is building a ship and going to space a problem? See, for instance, well, first off, rather than for instance, this place is this whole facility made out of iron, components, weapons, ammo, and you can't take it up and leave. You can't just lift off with this because it's a station. It doesn't have any propellers or thrusters. You can't dig it out and turn it into one. Well, maybe you could, but then again, why would you? Look at this. This is the ship you want. You can build something more compact and more resistant out of it instead of just keeping this. But you should leave it anyway, because I found one ice source. There's one ice source. There it is somewhere. There it is. Where it says H2O, that's where the signal is on position. There's ice underground, and I don't know how much of it is there left in there. So that's the situation here. It would be best if I just left for one of the poles, ice caps more like, because I don't know if considering the mechanics and orbit of the sun, really, and not even orbit of the planet, I can't say whether that would be an ice cap, a polar cap or not. So yeah, now we have to go to space. Man, when I was beginning, well, when I was getting here and when I started the other save to see what's up, I was really defeated, This whole investment wasn't worth it, really. But I made it work. So there's that. I'm gonna pull some things out of this. I'm gonna bring this over back to the base, I think. Then I'm gonna take it apart, build something that allows me to go, maybe. Or maybe I'll just build something here. Because there is an assembler over there. A little basic one. And there's a pile of resource here. And I've got the tier 2 grinder now. Because there was 3 in a box. So let's utilize that, right? So I could do this. Well, I'm gonna try to strip this and build a ship that will take me over. And we will try to kill the commander ship. And it's gonna be such a fucking horror. The same kind of horror it was in this base. They're gonna have better everything. For some reason. I don't understand that. Right. I still don't have uranium, but there is ammo for the rocket turret, missile turret, so I can just take ammo out of there and I'll have a turret that in theory should work interestingly. Or well. Yeah. That'll be that. I can probably just rebuild the wind turbine. I'm gonna need fuel, and I've got a tank over at my base telling me, well, just being fueled a little bit. I've got 10% of fuel in there out of the dig of H2O over at the signal. So I think there's also some heavy armor around here, around the battery at least there was. So I think I'll just scavenge all this, turn it into a large grid, simple ship, again with more weapons than 2 or 4 I guess, and we'll be going. So once I'm done, I'm gonna have to fuel it, and I have to scrape all this and bring it over, because that's where my fuel is, not here. See, it's almost not worth it. There's so much resources here, and you can't really use them because my base is right all the way over at iron symbol over there, 2.8 kilometers away. So it's gonna take a while. So I guess I'm gonna sit on my hands for a little bit, planning, and then once I built it to any degree, I think I'm gonna make what I was thinking about. Maybe I'll just make something small that runs on hydrogen, and then go towards one of the ice caps, fuel up there, maybe build up a little bit around there, around the new base, and that'll be it, possibly. So then the only thing left will be to go to space again, and maybe I'll manage to show you my base that I've established in the meantime. Still got some hydrogen, so I can just try. If you're looking for an efficient way to move around, oh, maybe up in the hills, that'll be what is it? The mountain tops would have some ice. An interesting way I devised to save hydrogen, because I didn't have much and I couldn't be fucked to dig that H2 out of there because I don't know how much is there. You just do those hops. You just do maximum speed on disabled dampeners to not waste fuel. Just try to hop over. And then momentum will carry around a bit. So yeah, this is my magnificent base over there. This here. Doesn't it look like home? It doesn't even have a seat. I did build a ship. I decided to build a big one instead of a small one because of capacity and, you know, general ease. It's not perfect, it's very thrown together. And also when you have a ship like this, the wind turbine won't work. So I think wind turbines are only available in the sense that they will work and provide energy and spin only if you've got a static grid. The ships are not it. I thought the turbine didn't spin because I flew down there and there's rock around, so there isn't much wind, and that's why it wasn't working correctly. But no, if it's a ship, it won't work. So yeah, next episode is gonna be about how I'm flying back to space, to my home planet, the No Planet. Fucking hell, it's gonna take a week to play a fucking tutorial. Right, see you next time. In the meantime, subscribe and watch all my other videos cause I need more, and so do you.
Energy low. Energy critical.
Help me!